Well, good evening, soccer fans, and welcome inside Stevens Stadium and Buckshot Field. Tonight, it's the Battle of the South Bay in NCAA men's soccer as the Santa Clara Broncos host the San Jose State Spartans in a crosstown rivalry matchup. Glad you would join us for tonight's broadcast here on a nice Friday night from Santa Clara, California. David Gentili with you on the call as the Broncos get ready to take on the Spartans. Thus far on the season, Santa Clara comes in with a record of 1-1, a convincing win over Holy Cross, and had a really tough matchup last time out against a defensively stout Missouri State side. The Bears got a goal in the first half and were able to see it through for a 1-0 victory over the Broncos. On the other side for San Jose State, tough out of the gates, 2-0 loss against Sacramento State, and then playing one of the West Coast Conference's best team into overtime, despite being a man down for almost an hour of that match. It was the Pacific Tigers up in Stockton who won it 2-1. We're going to step aside quickly for the national anthem, and we'll come back to get this thing going in a moment. Broncos and the Spartans on the WCC Network. Back inside Stevens Stadium and Buckshot Field, ready to get this one going. It's Santa Clara men's soccer on the WCC Network. David Gentili with you on the call tonight, and Colin Baker is up top running the camera for us for this Friday evening contest. Early season matchup, match day number 3 for both of these sides here in the 2019 campaign. Starting 11 on the screen for you now for San Jose State. A couple of guys to keep an eye on in this Spartan attack. Rudy Castro, who's got the only goal of the season for San Jose State, got it last time out against Pacific on September 2nd. He's got 7 shots on the year. Max Allen will also have a good part of the offense. 7 shots for the midfielder here in 2019. One big absence for this San Jose State team tonight is Jeff Dukes, senior veteran defender, picked up a red card versus Pacific last time out. So Dukes unavailable tonight, serving a 1-game suspension. And that's how the Spartans line him up for 6-year head coach Simon Tobin. On the other side for Santa Clara, plenty of dangerous Broncos to keep an eye on. 3 goals on the season, all against Holy Cross, scored by Julian Bravo, Sam Agasti, and Martin Utgard-Austin. Well, none of those guys are in the starting lineup. But one guy to keep your eye on, number 10, Javier Ruiz Duran, the junior out of Barcelona. Incredibly creative, a guy that can unlock a lot of things for this Santa Clara side. Guillem Badenez Mecho, freshman out of Spain, is in net for Santa Clara, opposed by Rodrigo Reyes Zavalza of San Jose State. Junior local product out of right here in San Jose and Lincoln High School. And get used to that when we talk about the Spartans tonight. This is a team built of a lot of Bay Area guys. One thing head coach Simon Tobin telling me the Spartans take pride in building locally and getting guys that grew up around the area, including the man who will kick us off, Rudy Castro. Full name Rodolfo. We'll call him Rudy tonight. Spartans will be attacking right to left in the first 45, and the Broncos in the gray uniforms attacking left to right from our view that we share from up here in the press box. Head referee Julian Arias blows the whistle, and we are underway. The South Bay Derby, Santa Clara, San Jose State. 2 campuses separated by only a couple of miles in a very short drive. Always a fun affair when these 2 teams get together, and we're happy you're with us tonight on the WCC Network for this one. Spartans with possession early. This is the junior midfielder Max Allen out of Liverpool, England. One of the few guys on this roster not from around the Bay Area initially. One thing to keep an eye on with San Jose State, these two center backs, Ethan Breens and Josh Redfield. Both freshmen starting center backs. We mentioned in the opener and just a moment ago in starting lineups that Jeff Dukes is unavailable for this team. So you've got those two guys who are very young, including the keeper who we see on the ball here, Rodrigo Reyes Zavalza. Now he's in his junior season, but his first season starting for Simon Tobin's bunch. So right up the spine on defense, freshman center backs and a first-year starting goalkeeper. That'll be something to keep an eye on tonight against a very potent Santa Clara attack. A tussle in the midfield, couple players fighting for it, and San Jose State comes away with it. This is Finley Wood, sophomore out of Newport, Wales. Broncos win it back. It's their freshman center back, Liam Anderson, then. Playing it back on to Guillem Badanez Mecho. Sends a long one out for a throw, and Eddie Sadie. He over there to take it. He'll get it moving quickly. And so Breens and Redfield, both freshmen for this team. Starting at center back here tonight. That's one-touch passing. Good control from the Spartans. Between Finley Wood, Max Allen, and Suleiman Karami. This is Gomez Zavala on the ball. Long pass forward coming from Sadie. Lands just outside the 18, and Badanez Mecho there to clean it up. Now Liam Anderson was watching that one for Santa Clara, and I think Anderson expected a little more on that ball. Kind of died. It is a little bit of a windy night here. So that'll come into play for some of those longer passes. Mostly affects the goal kicks. Here's Redfield, freshman out of Oakland and Bishop O'Dowd. Now Allen. He'll poke it on back to Reyes Zavalza. And up here for Ethan Breens. Sadie working far side, and that time he is taken down. Looked like Javier Ruiz Duran, junior out of Barcelona, Spain, and IES Leonardo da Vinci. Guilty party that time for Santa Clara. Cam Raston, his 18th season as head coach of the Broncos, said he thought the matchup against Missouri State last time out was a really good game, and he wasn't necessarily upset with how it went, upset with the result, but thought that there were plenty of chances for Santa Clara against a very good side out of the Missouri Valley Conference. Bears were 9-2-6 a season ago. Didn't lose a game in non-conference play. Almost made the NCAA tournament, but a defensively tough side, especially when they get a lead. Broncos sent wave after wave forward, but the Bears just had guys on the spot time and again. But a good early season test to see what things you need to work on offensively when you take on a team like Missouri State. Spartans knocking it around the back here. Redfield will open up space for Wood. A lot of patience between the midfielders and the defenders. Now this pass forward could unlock some things. Castro pushes it out wide. Trying to slip one through to Castro that time was Nicholas Brennis, the junior from Richmond, California. Spartans stay on it here. Controlling it in the attacking third. Little scoop into the box. High clearance from Anderson. Brennis trying to hold off Eduardo Lopez Perez. Almost came away with it. On a good defensive play that time from Santa Clara and Hendrik Kuhn. The graduate from Berlin, Germany. Guy who stepped in and talking with Bronco head coach Cam Rast has been good for this team so far in filling the role voided by departed senior from last year's team, Brandon Gillingham. Finley Wood. Back for Buenfield. Deflected off of Christensen. Anderson got there and slid it away. And got to Liam Anderson in a hurry, and he did well under duress to get that one away from the box. Long boot forward, chased down by a couple of guys, and that one will get on out for a Santa Clara goal kick. San Jose State versus Santa Clara is an exclusive presentation of the WCC Network on Stadium. For more live West Coast Conference broadcasts, features, and information, go to watchstadium.com and the official website of the West Coast Conference, WCCsports.com. David Gentili with you on the call tonight. Colin Baker is upstairs running the camera for us. Third match of 2019 for both of these teams. Broncos at 1-1, San Jose State at 0-2. I'm talking with the Spartan head coach Simon Tobin to get ready for this match. He said he likes where his team is at despite the two results. He said, not happy with losing, but quite happy with where we are at this point. It's very complimentary of the Pacific Tigers, one of the teams that's really made noise in the West Coast Conference in the last couple of years. Run forward for Nate Shue. First time cross is on. Deflected down, turned over in the box here as Ruiz was onto it, but San Jose State able to recover. Wood looks to lead him out the back. Castro leaves it some one-touch passing. Nice combination to start the move forward here. Good patience from Brenes. Couple options in the box and trying to cut it back onto the left, but that's good defending from Santa Clara's Alejandro Perez. Sophomore out of Roseville up in the Sacramento area and Jesuit High School. Spartans restart us with the throw here. Perez, a guy who is playing out of position right now for Santa Clara. Normally a right back, but Sakari Carter has locked down that spot for the Broncos. Head coach Cam Rass calling Perez a team player, a guy who's really tough and aggressive for this group. Perez with it there, leaves it for Christensen. And back for Badanez Mecho. Picks out his spot. Nice pass to Shue. It goes out off of Buenfield. Junior in-city product from San Jose and Lick High School. Puts it out for a Santa Clara throw-in. Broncos trying to scoot through the Spartan defense. They'll give one back here. Controlled by Gomez Zavala. Some nice dribbling skill that time from Rudy Castro, but he ran out of room. Castro, a guy who Simon Tobin, head coach of the Spartans, was tracking for a really long time. Shortly after he took the job and a handful of years ago. Said first moved to San Jose, got to see him when he was 16, and I thought one of the best prospects I'd seen at any level. So I'm brought down in the box by Santa Clara. They were trying to prick out Preston Manthe at the top of the attack, but Josh Redfield able to get there and defend, and after the clearance, Spartans win a free kick. Speaking of Manthe, picked up a yellow card a couple of minutes ago at the 5:44 mark. So Manthe on an early yellow for Santa Clara. Running on the far side, this is Sadie out of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Spartans dancing through the midfield. Trying to go right at the defense. Allen comes up with it. Good pass out wide to find Wood. The service from Finley Wood falls into the box, stabbed at and cleared by Anderson. Wood will stay on it here. Diagonal pass back to his center back, Breens. Allen working in the center of the park. Lofted through, passes on, falls down to the box just behind the intended target, Buenfield. Running up from his spot in midfield to get to the top of the attack. Headed down off the long boot forward from Santa Clara. I really like how the Spartans are keeping possession early on in the match. And in talking with Simon Tobin about how the season has gone for his team thus far, he said that was one of the biggest positives through 2 matches on the year. And I thought we've really done a good job of keeping the ball. Now, this is a team that has outshot its opponents 30-22 on the season, but it's on the wrong end of a 4-1 goal differential. So getting possession, getting their looks, and you can see that kind of possession in the early part of this match. To put it in his words, he said the midfield is, I think, the best part of our game. Our possession has been really good. Keep the ball nicely in the middle of the park. And a lot of that revolves around Max Allen. A tussle on the near side. Shu getting in the mix for Santa Clara. But Ajas got a boot to it for the Broncos. That one kicked out. And that was Allen, number 8, stepping in for San Jose State. Preseason all-WAC, second team all-WAC a season ago out of Liverpool. Coach Tobin calling him the fulcrum of the midfield. Really likes how he moves the ball. Spartans cutting out a Bronco attack. They'll start the move forward with Buenfield. Being watched by Nate Shu. Allen back into the midfield. Good control from Rudy Castro with the Broncos bearing down on him. And now the Spartans, nice pass to switch the point of attack. Here's Sadie. Brennis will pick out Allen. Low driven ball forward. Wood able to control it. Sakari Carter defending for the Broncos. He's it back for Redfield. That's to chest that one after it was popped up a little bit, and the Broncos able to step over. Preston Manthe, redshirt freshman out of Las Vegas, and Palo Verde in the Bronco midfield. And Manthe, a guy who redshirted last season. Broncos knew that early in the year. I remember talking with Cam Rass before last year's campaign, and Manthe was one of the guys he was highest on for this team in terms of newcomers. Says he is very much a creative player. Knows how to find his way to goal, be creative in that mindset that he has. And of course, just a couple collegiate matches in for Manthe. Trask saying he's doing some smart things. Still definitely needs to settle in, but you can see the growth and you can see that continuing here. Came off the bench for Santa Clara against Missouri State. Manthe making his first collegiate start here tonight. Broncos able to win it back from Karami. Play a long through pass all the way to the sideline for Javier Ruiz. Makes a return pass here from Perez. Has it played centrally, knocked down, and sent forward by the Spartans. They'll try and build out the back. Some good one-touch passing once again. About a quarter of an hour into this match between Santa Clara and San Jose State. We have not seen a shot attempt as of yet. And the only thing on our stats ledger, 4 fouls for the Broncos to 1 for the Spartans. A yellow card for Preston Manthe back in the 6th minute. Now, these teams very much feeling out what the other is bringing to this match early on. And as is the case with a lot of matches, when you don't see a shot on goal for the first extended go of it, a lot of this game locked in the midfield so far. Nice lofted through from Allen. Finley Wood, all sorts of space on the wing. Drives one in on the ground. One flick on for the Spartans. Left on back. That shot is on. It hits the bar. Another opportunity here, and it's cleared off the line. What a play by Emil Christensen. Helping out Botanez Mecho. After the first post struck the crossbar, I believe that was Suleiman Karami on the shot, the senior out of Dublin, California. That Well, there you go. The first shot, first really good look of our match. And it just missed going in for San Jose State. Crosses on here off the corner. Dipping ball with some pace to it. Finds its way out to Allen. Chipping across far side. Nice look of the space there to set that one up. There's a first time hit that's blocked away. Gomez Zavala, he'll cross one in. Headed away by Santa Clara. Brought down in the box. Good backheel pass. Shot deflected off a Spartan that time. So many bodies in the area. And the Broncos finally able to get it away. And some really good spells of possession by San Jose State. And some nice service too. Some balls that are hit with a little more pace. Driven with a little more power. And it just gives the defense a little bit less time to react. Combination play on the through pass up the wing. Has it for Buenfield. Here's a shot for range, and that one hits the bar. Oh my goodness. Two shots off the crossbar in the last couple minutes here for San Jose State. That's some really good things offensively for the Spartans. In that stretch, that last one coming from Nicholas Brennis. And now the Broncos will go ahead and make a first half substitution. Tennyson Stevens will come into the match for Santa Clara. Redshirt sophomore out of Highlands Ranch, Colorado, and Chatfield senior. Midfielder at 5'11" for Cam Rath's side.
Our first substitution, number 21 for the Broncos, Tennyson Stevens enters the match.
So Santa Clara having a throw in here in the attacking third. This is Manthe. For Eduardo Lopez Perez. Blocked off against a couple of Spartans, and he wins the throw. Sophomore out of right here in San Jose, and W.C. Overfelt. Broncos with the throw just a couple feet away from the corner flag. And it'll be Manthe to take. Looking to serve up a long one into the box. The looking ball drops down, cleared away by the Spartans. Left-footed effort down off a couple of skips. Ruiz gets there for Santa Clara. Pushes it wide. He was offside anyway. Trailing after that one. And free kick coming up for the Spartans. They're going to play it short, not long off the back. Ruiz able to get back to that one after the pass in the air, skipped a couple of lines. Now Stevens plays it on back. Spartans bearing down on Baranez Mecho and backed up. He got a good long boot to it. Lopez Perez for Santa Clara working on Sadie and Gomez Zavala. Santa Clara comes up with it and picks up the throw in here. I think playing it short on the goal kicks, part of that for San Jose State is the connectivity has been really good in terms of passing between the defensive line and the midfielders thus far. And it's just another effort and another idea to keep possession of the ball instead of serving it up long and making somebody win an aerial challenge. Throwing coming up here for Santa Clara. But the Broncos kind of expanding on that Missouri State match. Cam Rath said he really liked the team's organization and ball movement against the Bears. He said what he wants to see his team be better at is be more clinical and dangerous in the attack. And he said, we'll get there. Lopez Perez on it here for Santa Clara and just overran it a little bit. Still be on the ball. We'll leave it on back, but that was a very dangerous chance that just settled into a Santa Clara possession after a missed pass by the Spartans. Gomez Zavala in the midfield. Over for Sadie. Has to drive one through, deflected by Santa Clara. A couple of headers and falls on down. And foul given against the Broncos. Free kick coming up here for San Jose State. One Spartan remaining down on the pitch. The man who took the contact that time, Rudy Castro. Can slide that time from Hendrik Kuhn. Couple passes forward to Eduardo Lopez Perez. Spend time around the team, you'll know they call him Lalo. Now really that quick flurry of activity a couple of moments ago for the Spartans offensively. The Broncos had that chance with Lopez Perez, but that's been about all as far as the scoring opportunities early. But you do see some things start to open up here as you get past that initial 15 minutes of the match. Spartans with some short passes through the Bronco pressure. Gomez Zavala, a couple of good body feints to open up space. He'll have it again here. Looks to send it out wide. Alejandro Perez getting there for Santa Clara, knocked on through. And Badanez Mecho able to play that one with his feet. Surveying things here, going to the edge of the box. And just overshoots it, looking for Ruiz. He's able to keep that one alive. Lopez Perez trying to get there. Spartans disrupting some of these short passes for Santa Clara. Turn from Sakari Carter. San Jose State wins it back in the attacking half, and plenty of numbers in front of the ball here. Here's Allen. Lifts one through. Trying to pick out Buenfield. They'll control it, take it outside the 18. Wood trying to get around a couple of guys, and Santa Clara's got the clearance out for a San Jose State throw in there. Freshman Liam Anderson, true freshman, starting in center back out of Portland Central Catholic. A little bit of grabbing that time, and the Broncos will have a free kick. Preston Manthe starting the charge then for Santa Clara. Anderson, the guy who head coach Cam Rass says is grown by leaps and bounds since he got to Santa Clara. Said his instincts and his natural ability are what make him a good fit to start at center back as a true freshman. Said both of those are really good. Said he's still making some mistakes, but that's just part of settling into this level of soccer. And you learn a lot when you're able to start right away in your freshman campaign. No question about that. It's a lot to process for a lot of guys at one time, and that's what makes that tough, and also what makes it impressive when you see true freshman starters.
Substitution for the Broncos, number 3, Terrell Smith.
Broncos will make a swap. Nate Shue is off, and Terrell Smith is in. Smith, the junior, out of British Columbia in Canada, and Burnaby Secondary. Broncos play it in for Manthe. Lopez Perez is there. Scoops one out wide. Played on back for Carter. Got a first time cross. Controlled by San Jose State, but given back here to Kuhn. Carter lifts it. Kuhn trying to get there. Lopez Perez looking to be opportunistic here. Tackled for a moment by San Jose State. Broncos still in a good spot. Has to slip one through. And nice defensive positioning that time. And then the Broncos will give it back on a foul against Manthe. Rennes working on the far side. Couple of Broncos around him. Lopez Perez wins it back, and now it'll be blown back, ruled to be out for a San Jose State throw-in. Coach asked for Santa Clara, specifically identifying transition points as a big point of emphasis. You know, that point when you win the ball and then you have to make that split-second decision. Can you get numbers forward, or do you need to be patient and let the attack build up? He said he thinks he wants to see a little bit more patience out of his team going forward. Smith got a header to it. Barnes were trying a through ball there. Gomez Zavala with good hustle to stay on it. Back for Karami. Tried to charge through the Santa Clara defense. Broncos win it back. They're on the counter. Through pass. Smith speeding into the box. Terrell Smith for Santa Clara. Sets it up in the middle, and the Broncos get one from Preston Manthe. They lead it 1-0 here in the 26th minute. Well, it all started with that run by Karami, an aggressive move right at a couple of Bronco midfielders. Santa Clara won it back, committed good numbers forward. They had Smith streaking on the far side, and you can see the speed of Terrell Smith there and just how dangerous that was. He had one man in the box, but he found the trail runner Manthe, and a smooth finish, nice and easy, right into the corner, almost like passing it into the back of the net. Manthe chasing after this one, bidding for the double, and he's stopped by Reyes Zavalza. Broncos building off some momentum after that last goal. Just moments ago, before we even had it announced here over public address. Trying to create extra work for our guy, Phil Simon, over in the press box.
Again, Manthe with the goal assist from Smith in the 26th minute.
So Smith credited with the assist, but you know, that's one where you're not going to get an assist on that first through pass. If you're, again, I believe it was Lopez Perez on that pass, but that was critical to starting that run. Broncos moving again here. This time lifted out wide for Smith, going after it, trying to keep it in play, but it gets out for a throw-in. So that's a nod to the head coach. Bring a guy in off the bench in the first half, and he picks you up an assist within his first 5 minutes on the pitch. Dangerous speed on the outside for the Broncos then. And that one cleared by Reyes Zavalza. Scrambling to get over to it, did get it away from trouble, but Santa Clara will win a corner kick here. And combination play, quick move on the counter for Santa Clara. And that's just one of those points we were talking about a moment ago. The point of emphasis, the transition when you win the ball back, what do you do with it next? And the Broncos picked a good time to be aggressive and go forward. Corner kick, headed goalward and just over the bar. Emil Christensen with the effort. Sophomore out of Denmark at 6'3", one of the Bronco team captains alongside Javier Ruiz. Spartans here back in their own box. A turn by Josh Redfield. So the pace has picked up a little bit. We'll see if that keeps up, but that's very different from what we saw in the initial stages of the match, when a lot of it was gridlocked between these two teams. But now that the pace is picking up a little bit, question is, will it stay that way, or will San Jose State try to keep doing what it's been doing and maybe slow down the ball a little bit? Because you've seen what the Broncos are able to do when they can get out and running. And Reyes Zavalza was all on his own. for the last save. Winfield slips it through the middle. Smith will win it back. Charging forward here against Brennis. Little hesitation move, and Smith flashing the speed once again. Got a couple options in the middle. Tries to serve one up. It's blocked away and gets through to Reyes Zavalza. It was on the gas and then just easing off a little bit and then back on it for Smith there. Big impact off the bench for him already in this one. So it's Santa Clara's first career tally, first career point from Preston Manthe in his first career start. And for Terrell Smith, playing in his 29th match for Santa Clara, that's also his first career point. Good aggressive play by Ruiz. Hits it for Manthe. Javier Ruiz is home free, and he will chip it off the bar and in. 2-0 Broncos. Ruiz with a little style for Santa Clara. Got in on the keeper, a well-placed chip. Little love for the sidebar that time. And finds its way on home and quickly. Broncos up 2-0. Now, we talked about San Jose State's central defense being a big storyline in this game. Broncos keen to the fact that this team has been knocking it around the back pretty consistently. And that time, just based on how the Spartans were set up, they had the ball in the middle of the field with their two back defenders spread so far wide that when Preston Manthe won it back from the defensive midfielder, he basically could just play an easy one forward to Ruiz.
For the Broncos, scoring his first goal of the season.
So pressure that time, able to create the goal. And Ruiz chipping it in with the left.
Assisted on the play by number 17, Preston Manthe.
And Santa Clara quickly getting the offense going. Manthe gets a goal from Terrell Smith. And then Javier Ruiz picking up the goal from Manthe. Couple of goals less than 5 minutes apart for the Broncos here in the first half.
Entered the match replacing Eduardo Buenfil and Nicholas Brennis.
We talked about a lot of newcomers scoring for these respective sides, and Javier Ruiz is a guy who's had a good part of this Bronco offense in his first couple of seasons here. Tussle in the midfield and some physical play, and now that one will be stopped back. Yeah, it looked like Lopez Perez for Santa Clara that time. A little bit of a grab for Max Allen. I wouldn't be surprised to see the intensity pick up and start to see some chippiness come out of this one. On scoring a couple of goals in short succession can have that kind of effect on a match. Santa Clara, Javier Ruiz, his 9th career goal. 2 as a freshman, 6 as a sophomore last year, had 17 points overall for this team in a really solid second campaign. Chosen as one of the Bronco team captains this year. Head coach Cam Rass saying he's got a really creative mind, and that helps in terms of some of the problem-solving tasks that go into the captaincy position. A couple substitutions came on after the last Santa Clara goal. Omar Lemus, Danny Sanchez into the match, taking the spots of Brennis and Buenfield for San Jose State. So the Spartans, who'd had most of the possession for about the first 20 minutes of the match. See if they can continue to use that good connectivity to try and create some chances. Handball issued against Hendrik Kuhn that time. That was Danny Sanchez junior out of Hayward. Stepping into the midfield for the Spartans. Headed down by Sakari Carter, controlled nicely by Sanchez, but the Broncos get numbers around him to win the ball back. Ruiz playing one forward, and Lopez Perez is offside. No, Lopez Perez onside. This one is brought back for a foul, and it'll be a yellow card on a hard challenge. Well, to hit it like that with the outside of the foot and get it that far forward, that's hard to do. Now, regardless of that play being blown dead, that was a nice one. As Max Allen picks up a yellow. Cross is on here, and stretching out to grab it is Reyes Zavalza. He had that one save that kept the Broncos from doubling up earlier on. And I don't really think you can fault the San Jose State keeper for either of the two goals the Broncos scored. Well, Santa Clara attackers in a really good position getting into the box, and obviously, I mean, you're not going to get many cleaner looks than Ruiz got on the second Santa Clara goal. And Manthe in a good spot with a good first-time hit. And that's just more about a good run on the far side of the first one by Terrell Smith. And then a defensive mistake in the midfield, giving it away with the two back defenders spread out wide. That led to the Bronco goal. Sam Agasti coming into the match for Santa Clara, senior out of Seattle, Washington, and Lakeside. You'll hear from Sam during our halftime interview today. We'll also check out the WCC Network's Top Play Tuesday. First one of the year came out earlier this week. Plenty of good plays from around the conference to check out as we get 2019 underway. Men's and women's soccer and volleyball currently in action around the WCC. That's a good reminder. If you see something outstanding from the Broncos in this match, use Twitter, nominated for the WCC's Top Play Tuesday. Tweet a description of the play, slap on that hashtag Top Play Tuesday, and it might just make the difference when the WCC picks the top 5 plays from this week's action tonight and all season long. Hashtag Top Play Tuesday. Broncos looking to push it out wide for Smith. Able to hold it in and recover. Smith is into the box, drives one centrally. Akramowicz is here, and that one's blocked away. That's a really good play by Smith. Had to hustle just to get to it. Quickly put on the brakes, changed his direction. Got a run going forward, and then a ball through to Akramowicz. He was in a good spot. That one was blocked out. So Santa Clara will have a corner kick here. Ruiz will get ready to serve it up with the left. Two Broncos at the edge of the 6-yard box. Headed outside of the box. Right down here. Broncos trying to get it to Christensen. He's fighting through, looking to get there. Spartans win it back. And Sakari Carter tracking down that long pass forward. Broncos will get it all the way back to Bodenez Mecho. Header forward for the Broncos. Sadie didn't quite square that one up, but Santa Clara wasn't pressing too high then. So nothing too threatening for San Jose State. Two shots, both off frame for the Spartans. Both in short succession shortly before Santa Clara got its first goal. The Broncos are up to 7 shots and 4 on target here in the first half. And Santa Clara did a really good job settling into this game despite not having the majority of possession for the first 15 or 20 minutes or so. Agasti breaks through the defense. Pass forward is blocked. Sam Agasti controlling it again. Back for Terrell Smith. First time cross from Agasti. Tried to pick out Tennyson Stevens, but Agasti was in an offside position when Smith tried to play him in. Manthe in the 26, his first goal as a Bronco from Terrell Smith, his first point as a Bronco. And then Javier Ruiz in the 31st from Preston Manthe. So good first start for Manthe today for Santa Clara. And you can see some of the promise that we had talked about from him before. Badanez Mecho will look to play a long one forward here for Santa Clara. Try and get the Bronco attack going again. Pass forward. Christensen stepping up. Now starting the move. Through pass for Akramowicz, who's onside. Alex Akramowicz sends it back. Ruiz just over the bar. Clipped out on its way out. So the Broncos will have a corner kick. Emil Christensen starting that one out the back for Santa Clara. A powerful tackle, one stride forward. Played the through pass to Akramowicz, who was set up in a good spot. And left it on for Ruiz, whose shot was just tipped and sent over the bar. And another good run forward for Santa Clara. And boy, in these last 15 minutes, Bronco offense looking very sharp here. Broncos will play it on back. This one now chipped forward. Christensen still there after the set piece. Spartans win it back. Nice little swim play to get to the outside from Omar Lemus. Lemus Jr. out of San Jose and Summit Tahoma High School. Finley Wood will set us up for the throw. Left back for Wood. He'll send it all the way over to Sadie. Here's Redfield. Clicked on through, headed down. And passing here from San Jose State. This is Castro. Hops it back. Now Sadie. Tried to play it through. It's deflected right back to him. They'll option it out wide. Smith able to intervene for Santa Clara. Spartans doing well to win back a lot of these balls, and the Broncos get a piece of it. And that one comes into the box. Leaping and stretching out for Santa Clara is Badanez Mecho. Less than 5 to go here until halftime. The Broncos with a 2-0 lead over the crosstown rival Spartans. That's a handball from Sakari Carter. Just kind of dipped his shoulder down a little bit. There's an extra ball on the pitch. That's why we had it blown dead for a moment there. Spartans will send it around the horn. It's Brians. Sadie will get it to the other center back, Redfield. Broncos, certainly with how they scored that second goal, I think will look to be opportunistic with some of these passes that come to the middle of the field. And again, for Santa Clara, it's about picking and choosing your spots, especially when you're up 2-0. Well, teams will tell you they don't want to take the foot off the gas, just park the bus in this kind of situation, but doesn't call for pressing as much of a high line and make the other team work to get its opportunities when your opponent's chasing the game. Still short passes and control here from San Jose State. Well, the Broncos keeping a good defensive shape. And now Spartans get it on back, and it's that kind of little lapse allows Santa Clara to reset. One play it on through. Spartans tried to leave it. And they'll win a free kick, and one player remaining down here, so we should see a stoppage in play if he does stay down. And getting back up onto his feet, that's a substitution, Omar Lemus. Spartans will take it quickly. They're going to play it up the wing. Several options in the box. Attempted cross. Blocked away. And out for a corner. Man who was down just a moment ago, Lemus, starting to play that time. Spartans looking to serve it up into a crowded box. They've got a couple of numbers forward here. Just a couple of minutes to go in this first 45. Round to the left side and Finley Wood. Wood working against Carter, and Sakari pokes it out for a Spartan throw-in. Here's Sanchez. Now Redfield will look to switch the point of attack to the far side. Played up the wing. We're chasing that one. Had to be a first-time pass to keep it in play by Breens. Now the Broncos play Ruiz forward. Ruiz looking for some help. Sends it back for Smith. Let's see, working in tandem on the far side. There's a cross flicked on, but headed away. Now Christensen able to get there. Puts one ahead with the left. Into a crowded area. Broncos win a throw-in, and they'll make a substitution. Getting ready to bring on Julian Bravo. Sophomore midfielder scored the first goal of the season for Santa Clara against Holy Cross out of Claremont, California, and Claremont High School. And Javier Ruiz will get a small respite here at the end of the first half going into the break. One flicked on over the shoulder by Agassi. Controlled here by Sanchez. Spartans playing it on the ground. Broncos trying to press it here. Smith intervening, and Smith will win it back. Seeing the effect of his speed in Santa Clara's attack. That time you see it to win a ball back in the attacking half. Sliding challenge from Kuhn. Spartans win it back with a chance to charge forward here. But it's taken back. Undefensive work from Santa Clara that time. And Tennyson Stevens. 5 seconds to go until halftime. Smith charging after it. We're at 45 minutes. So that should be it. It would have taken something pretty much when he got to the edge of the box, but I don't think the angle was going to be there either way. And after a sliding challenge, Smith remained down on the field for a moment. Now sitting up for Santa Clara. And Alex Akramwood's coming over to have a look at him. Great first half for Terrell Smith. For Santa Clara off the bench, the Broncos leading this thing 2-0 at halftime after a very gradual start. San Jose State had a lot of the possession early on, but the Broncos get 2 breakthroughs in 4 minutes and 23 seconds. Preston Manthe from Smith and Javier Ruiz from Manthe. 26th and 31st minute time of those 2 goals. Manthe's also on a yellow card for Santa Clara, as is Max Allen for San Jose State. 9 shots, 4 on frame in the first half for the Broncos. 2 shots, both off target for San Jose in the first 45. And to get a look at who's been doing the shot taking, Manthe's got 3 of them. Ruiz with 2 for the Broncos in the first 45. And Buenfield and Brenes each with a shot for San Jose State, but the guys that came in with most of them to start the season, Castro and Allen, 7 apiece through 2 matches, held without a shot in the first 45 minutes. So I think Santa Clara has to be very pleased with where it's at halftime of this match. A 2-0 lead on the home turf here at Stevens Stadium and Buckshaw Field. Well, we're going to go ahead and take a breather here at halftime. Coming up, we'll have our halftime interview with Broncos senior Sam Agassi. Got his first goal with the team earlier this season in that 3-0 win over Holy Cross. We will also take a look at the WCC Network's Top Played Tuesday. That's all coming up at halftime. Broncos leading the Spartans 2-0. You are watching Santa Clara men's soccer on the WCC Network. We're here at halftime on the WCC Network. David Gentili joined by Bronco men's soccer senior Sam Agosti. And Sam, preseason in the books, first 2 matches in the books. Give me your overall takeaway on how the early part of 2019 is going for you and the team.
So as a senior, I've been here 4 years, so I've had 4 preseasons now. And this preseason, it's definitely felt different. It's felt like the whole team's more bought into the program, but into the work that's necessary more than I've ever seen before. Feels like everyone's just really committed. Everyone came in so fit. Everyone spent their summers doing the right stuff, and it feels like that's what's made the difference. And it's been shown in our record so far.
So you can put in that extra work over the summertime and get you into good shape in preseason to start out the year. What sort of things did you key in on as you got to work over the summer?
So I was in a different role in the summer, so I was kind of working on my defensive work. I was with the Santa Clara 23 team with Miles, actually. We both worked there together. And so as a center mid, you have to kind of work on your offense and defense, but I was given a chance to work on the defensive side and kind of playing a 6 and working on distribution and more of that side of the role.
For this group, what do you think was the difference in mentality, and when did you really start to notice that, hey, we're putting in a lot of work in the off season, so we're going to see some dividends for this early in the year?
I think people have 2 options in the summer. You can either relax and take your time and reset, or you can continue the grind and keep going and keep working every day or almost every day to stay in shape. And I think for most of the guys, the second option is what they chose, and that was reflected as soon as we got to captain's practice pretty much. Almost the whole team was here earlier than was mandatory. It was like 2 weeks earlier for captain's practice or something, and everyone was here, already in shape, already bought in and already committed, and it was just great to see.
Showed in the first game that you guys had good 3-0 win over Holy Cross, and you also got your first goal as a Bronco in that match. Take me through that goal and then just what the feeling was like getting your first goal as a senior.
So I saw a long ball over the top to the keeper, so I felt like a good choice to press. And then when I pressed, the keeper actually took a touch that it went by me and went to Julian. And then he took a good shot, and I just happened to be there for the clearance. I didn't actually see it go in. My face was in the dirt, but...
You just had to hear the cheers and the reaction of your teammates, and you're like, all right, there we go, I got one.
Yeah, right.
Talking with Santa Clara's Sam Agosti here at halftime on the WCC Network. Soccer's been a long-time game for you. You were telling me before we started the interview that you could kick a ball as soon as you could walk, around 1 year old. What do you remember about soccer being a part of your childhood and really just taking a liking to the game?
It's really just, I can't remember a single point in my life where I didn't have it. I was kicking a ball as soon as I could walk. I was in these little kid training sessions as soon as I was legally allowed to be. I was pretty much doing everything as early as I could, and I just don't remember ever not thinking about a ball all day and having a ball at my feet whenever I could.
Between your youth career and then your time here at Santa Clara, that's a lot of soccer. Do you have one particular moment at any point throughout your career that stands out as a favorite on-field memory?
I think my first start, so we had a really rough start to the season my sophomore year, and then it was my first start against USF, and we won 2-1, I think, or 2-0, or 3-1, sorry, with a free kick in kind of the last couple of minutes. And just when we secured the 3rd goal, it was near the end of the game, so we were pretty sure we had won. And just that final feeling of getting the first win of that season and my first start and everything just coming together was a really nice feeling for that season.
Yeah, Valdemar Anderson with the wonderful free kick. I remember that the scene on the sidelines was pretty cool. I'm sure the celebrations are always great, but can you kind of tap into that feeling and tell me what that memory was like of just huddling around everybody after Val scored that goal?
It's just a blur. Like, you don't even think about it. There's nothing going on in your mind except just you're screaming, and suddenly everyone's in a huddle together and everyone's screaming, and then suddenly you're back on the line. It's just like, it's not something you remember super clearly. It just kind of happened, and you remember being so emotional in the moment, and then it's over.
So if that's one of your favorite memories, tell me about something that maybe is a signature of your game, or a particular kind of play that you really like to make or like to be a part of.
I think so. People call soccer the beautiful game, and for me that's manifested most in kind of clean one-touch combinations and when you carve through a defense in that way. So definitely my favorite types of plays, my favorite types of soccer players are when you just kind of weave your way through a team with these nice combinations and good movement and good play off one another, and it makes the game look so easy and so beautiful that way. So those are definitely my favorites.
Last one for you, Sam. You said your dad was a Liverpool fan, and you chose Newcastle as a youngster because...
So if you think about the names, I was something like 5 years old. You have a pool full of livers, or you have a fresh Newcastle, and there was just clearly one winning choice between those two.
What's been one of your favorite memories watching Newcastle and being able to follow that team?
we had a crazy comeback versus Manchester City a while back, ended with a Chike Tiote volley from like 30 yards out. I remember going wild when I watched that happen, because it's not often that a little fish gets to beat up against bigger fish like Man City.
Santa Clara's Sam Agasti, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
More of the halftime show coming up after this on the WCC Network.
That's the angle to cross. Santos pushes through it. Santos gets the goal for St. Mary's within the last 5 minutes of regulation.
Cantor having a very good season so far. Gonna put it down. And another service ace, back to back. Dug out by Edwards, and it's 3 in a row. They find her in 4 in a row. And Cantor is on fire right now.
Doing his run as he plays it outside for Robertson. A good cross to the middle. A header, and what a save! To the upper corner and snagged away as the Mustangs are denied.
This time it's Ravenio, though! Bends it into the left corner of the goal, and Ravenio ties it up.
The junior looking to put the Dons up front. She does. San Francisco 1, the Aztecs 0, 80th minute.
Engelbretson with the attack. Inside, good ball. Spieling with a shot, and right down the middle. Goes low this time, and the Gales make it 2-0. Jakob Spieling.
Heifer with the left foot puts it inside the 18. A header from Planella to the back of the net, and it's a Torero goal.
Right about ready to kick it off here as we start the second half of action at Stevens Stadium, an NCAA men's soccer matchup. Santa Clara taking on San Jose State here on the WCC Network. 2 first-half goals for the Broncos, setting the stage for a second 45 minutes. The pace really picking up. Broncos did well to seize the lead, and we'll see how San Jose State responds here in the second half, and if the Broncos can keep on the front foot offensively. Alejandro Perez for Santa Clara working against Finley Wood. Couple Spartans in the area. That out and ruled as a San Jose State throw-in. Preston Manthe, his first goal as a Bronco in his first collegiate start here tonight to get us started. Chance here for Agosti, and Sam Agosti. A beautiful finish with the left. 44 seconds into the second half. It's 3-0 Santa Clara. Well, the Broncos aggressive off of a throw-in set up by Alejandro Perez. One touch for Agosti to set up on the left. And he hit that ball about as well as you can hit it from that spot. Left foot, far post, tucked it inside post. And the Broncos leading their crosstown rivals 3-0 here early in the second half. Now building on that momentum from the first half. And indeed keeping the foot on the gas. So Sam Agosti came into this season for Santa Clara with 38 appearances. He had 2 assists to his ledger. He's now got 2 goals in 3 matches this season. Julian Bravo controlling it here for Santa Clara. Put out a play by San Jose State's Finley Wood. Well, you heard from Sam here at halftime, and one of the things he talked about was the commitment and the buy-in in the summertime and the preseason. He said basically you have 2 options over the summer. You can rest and recoup, or you can get back to work, try and get your fitness right, and allows you to come in and hit the ground running. And he said just about everybody on the Santa Clara team had done that. A lot of guys had shown up a couple weeks before mandatory reporting when captain's practice started. And paying dividends early on in the year. 3-0 win over Holy Cross. Broncos battled and lost to Missouri State. They've now got 3 goals here against San Jose State in about 20 minutes worth of match time. Nicholas Brenes playing it toward the middle, or Carlos Gomez Zavala. And the Spartans, as they did for a lot of the first half, going to try and build one out the back here. Some of this patient passing on the ground. Gomez Zavala has that one blocked, and here's Julian Bravo for Santa Clara. Came off the bench late as a first half substitution for the Broncos. Bravo fighting through some traffic, but a couple of Spartans able to win it back. Gomez Zavala on it here. Brenes. Couple of short passes. He'll get it over to Finley Wood. And now Josh Redfield. Send it on back. All the way over to the far side. Broncos able to win it back. Kuhn and Ruiz stepping through. And worth noting again, the absence of Jeff Dukes for San Jose State. And with 3 Bronco goals before 46 minutes gone in this one, the Spartans are feeling that absence here tonight. Picked up a red card last time out against Pacific. And Dukes is a guy that is frequently in the lineup for this team. Spartans will get on the move here. Nice find to slip it out wide of the midfield. This is Awi Hernandez. Hernandez in a crowded area, gets back for Gomez Zavala. And Isaiah De Dios. Much different personnel we're seeing here in the second half for San Jose State than we saw in the first 45. Back for Finley Wood. Options to pick out in front of him. Chips one forward, and that is offside against Eduardo Buenfield. So just to put it in a little bit of context with Jeff Dukes, started the final 14 matches of his freshman season. He started all 21 matches each of the last 2 years, and then started the first 2 of this 2019 campaign. So this is the first time in the last 58 matches that Dukes has not seen the field for San Jose State. And it leaves a couple of freshmen central defenders, along with a first-year full-time starting goalkeeper in Rodrigo Reyes Zavalza. And the Broncos have been able to take advantage to the tune of 3 goals here. Although, again, you look at how those 3 were scored, I don't think you can fault Reyes Zavalza for any of them. Good run on the first side for Santa Clara back in the first half that set up Preston Manthe in the box. And just 3 really well-struck balls from Manthe, Ruiz, who basically had a free run in on goal for Santa Clara, after the Broncos won it back in a good spot against the back part of the Spartan midfield. And then Agosti just a moment ago. Such a well-hit ball with the left. Spartans battling up the far side. The Broncos will win a throw in here. I think the other thing that Santa Clara will like in the young part of the season here is the kind of things they're doing defensively. Now you take a look at the 3 matchups that the Broncos have had thus far. This one is played on back to Reyes Zavalza. Holy Cross had far from what would have been its best outing. The Crusaders were really disjointed in that first match of the season. Nice little pass there. Creativity to start the move forward for San Jose State. This is Brennis. A little piece of dribbling skill here as he drops it back into the midfield. Finley Wood, he'll have a go from range, and on one hop gets into Guillem Badanez Mecho. Freshman goalkeeper out of Spain for Santa Clara, able to make a relatively comfortable save. You had Holy Cross, was just not very well connected in that match. You go to Missouri State for Santa Clara. Really well-disciplined defensive team. Broncos had some chances, but just every question that they asked of the Bear defense was answered in that match. And then here tonight, San Jose State possessing the ball really well for long stretches, but Santa Clara patient and opportunistic. But thus far, in at least the first little go of the season, haven't seen a team come in here and face Santa Clara with a plan that's worked as far as breaking down the Santa Clara defense. And again, that was one of the biggest points of emphasis coming into the season. Broncos, Cam Rass felt like they gave up far too many goals last year. He said our offense was good, thought we created enough chances, but it's been allowing the volume of goals, and they got in some crazy matches last year that they wanted to try and clean up, and it's been so far so good in that department. Badanez Mecho can't pick out Alejandro Perez. So that'll start a run forward for the Spartans. Good play, scoop it out wide. Awi Hernandez crosses on. Headed away by Christensen. Hernandez, a junior out of Millbrae, California, and Mills High School getting in on the action here. This is Finley Wood. Back here for Breens and leaves it for Wood. And Wood will put it to the far side with Redfield. Now, a lot of times, San Jose State, the backliners and whoever's at that holding mid spot, they'll get about 3 to 4 touches to the ball a piece at least before you see some kind of pass that tries to get it into the attacking third. So it's an extremely patient buildup, and Spartans sticking to the principles here. I think down 3 goals, good time to start taking a few chances. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to get out of your system, but you can find ways to play more aggressively within that system. Nice looking ball forward there, but good play stepping in for Santa Clara and Alejandro Perez, and he's able to win the Broncos a free kick. And shielding that time, noticing that the touch and the control just wasn't a clean one, and he picked a good moment to step forward then. Martinez Mecho up to the front line, headed on by Bravo, headed out by Aui Hernandez. And 3 substitutions coming on for Santa Clara. Alan Camacho Soto is into the match for the Broncos. Tennyson Stevens, who was a first half sub, returns here, and Dylan Karuba will also come in. Camacho Soto, junior forward, transfer from Temple for Santa Clara out of Burnaby up in British Columbia. Controls it here off the throw-in with Ruiz running in front of him on the near side. And Karuba, the senior out of Morgan Hill and Bellarmine Prep. And ball by Camacho Soto gives a free kick away here to San Jose State. Karuba, you'll hear from him on Sunday. The Broncos taking on Grand Canyon at 7:30 p.m. He'll be our halftime interview for that match. Camacho Soto turning a corner, crosses on, and a little too short of Ruiz, headed away by Breens. Spartans quickly play a long pass forward here. They'll give it away here as Emil Christensen looks to get on the ball. He's it back for Martinez Mecho. And flying forward that time was Isaiah De Dios. Now, I think that, last little spell right there, that's kind of an example of ramping up that sense of urgency. It's going to take a lot to get back into this match 3 goals down. But some longer passes forward, especially in your transition moments, I think are a good starting point for San Jose State. The one thing that's been clear for this team, even down 3 goals, the ability to possess the ball and connect on the short passes is really sharp. It's been translating it to the attacking third and creating dangerous chances that has eluded this team early on in the year. Wood into the middle of the park. And Gomez Zavala sending it to the back line. Here's Hernandez. Ruiz trying to step through for Santa Clara. Spun around, fighting to get on the ball, and he'll have a run forward here. Through pass playing a couple Broncos forward, but too far in front of Karuba and Camacho Soto. Anderson short. Broncos working it through the midfield here. Ruiz lays a first-time ball scooting on into the box. And Reyes Zavalza is there for the take for San Jose State. Reyes Zavalza saw 180 minutes of action last season. It was Alex Cluis who had 19 matches, almost 1,800 minutes in net. So again, that one of the moving parts for the Spartans to start off this year. New man in and goalie. Also the case for Santa Clara. Broncos will have a throw in here coming up on the 60-minute mark. Second half of action. Preston Manthe, Javier Ruiz, and Sam Agasti tallying the goals for Santa Clara. Manthe in the 25th minute, Ruiz in the 31st, and Agasti in the 46th. Bravo and Manthe with the assist to set up Agasti. So Preston Manthe tonight has had a hand in all 3 Santa Clara goals. Scoring the first, dishing out assists on the most recent 2. Hops on into the box, pass Bonanez Mecho, he dies after it, it's still loose, and the Spartans capitalize. They are on the board just shy of the hour mark. It's 3-1 Santa Clara. I believe that was Nicholas Brennis who put that one away, but we'll get confirmation of that here in a moment. Well, it was a long ball played back. Emil Christensen left it on for his goalie to go and get. And Bonanez Mecho just forward, not in the right position that time. So San Jose State hits the goal. Will that be the one to spark this Spartan side? Christensen back for Bonanez Mecho with De Dios bearing forward. Bonanez Mecho all the way forward. Nice ball to set up the Bronco attack. There's Damani Osei. Osei with the left. It's blocked away. Out for a Santa Clara throw in. He's a 1v1 defending that time by the Spartans. And the goal, as just announced, is to Buenfield for San Jose State.
Again, Spartans goal 13, Buenfield in the 60th minute.
The midfielder, junior out of right here in San Jose, Buenfield picking up the goal for the Spartans then. On a mistake by the Santa Clara defense. Agassi comes away with it. Charging into the box. Slips one through. Good one-touch passing. Osei's shot is blocked. Really nice play to set up and stop that one. There's a blast from range, and that one is stopped. Alejandro Perez with the effort. Good power behind it, but you're going to need something otherworldly to try and score from that far out. So it's Buenfield on the goal for San Jose State to get the Spartans on the board. Second goal of the season for SJSU. Rudy Castro is the other Spartan that has one on the year. Howie Hernandez plays it forward, left on back, could be a chance here. Slipped in through, edge of the box, and it's pushed out wide. Oh, that was a good chance for Jamal Adam, the sophomore out of Santa Clara and Santa Clara High School. And he just did not strike that one the way he was hoping to. But some really good combination play. Gomez Zavalza involved in it that time, and now the Spartans making a host of changes. Max Allen back into the match. Miguel Bermudez will come in. Some kind of line shifts here from the Spartans as Redfield's going to go ahead and get a breather in the center back spot for San Jose State. And Andy Barajas is also into the match. Freshman from San Jose and Overfelt High School. So Barajas for San Jose State will step in. Play center back here alongside Breens. Once they able to win and advance forward for the Broncos, they will have a throw in here. Jose trying to turn the corner, and San Jose State will have a goal kick with Reyes Zavalza. Again, playing him short as they've done for most of the day. Trying to build everything up through the back. But you can see the effect that that goal just a moment ago had. A little more pep in the step, and it led to another chance or two. So the inroads are there as the Spartans look to get back into this one.
And fans, your attention, we've also had a scoring adjustment. adjustment on Santa Clara's third goal. An assist has been added to number 17, Preston Manthe.
You can hear Phil Simon on the public address. Preston Manthe getting an assist on the third Santa Clara goal, but we had that down before it was publicly announced. Christensen for the Broncos. Lifting one over to the far side. Spartans controlling it here. Now a run forward for Santa Clara. Ball crossed on. Osei trying to get there, as Jared Mariani got a piece of it for San Jose State. Red shirt freshman from Riverton, Utah. Juan Diego Catholic High School. That'll set up a Santa Clara corner here. Barajas will set up to take it from the right side. Both hands in the air, ready to serve it up here. Headed goalward, and that one is in for the Broncos. Alan Camacho Soto on the header, and the Broncos back on top by 3. So the goals keep on coming here for Santa Clara, as Camacho Soto putting one away off the corner. Just kind of popped one into the air. The keeper charged forward, was off his line, and nobody there to try and clear it off the back line as a result of that. So 4-1 here, Santa Clara. Now Reyes Zavalza came off his line that time, stretched out a hand trying to get just a punch to it. It got through to Camacho Soto, who popped up a header. There were 2 Spartan defenders on the back line, but it ended up falling through a very tight window. Now Camacho Soto puts the header to it, drops in the little rainbow through a couple Spartan defenders for goal number 4 on the Santa Clara night. Agasti here in the Bronco midfield. Working with Alejandro Perez. Broncos trying to play it forward to Osei. It's out for a Santa Clara throw right around the midfield line. So it's now a 5-goal evening overall. All 5 of the goals coming in about 39 minutes of match action. Manthe, Ruiz, Agasti, Camacho, Soto for the Broncos, and Buenfield for San Jose State. Camacho Soto last season, 17 games, 3 goals, 4 assists for the Broncos. That's his first goal in 3 matches here in 2019. This one slid on out, as Barajas doing the defending. Redshirt sophomore out of right here in San Jose and Archbishop Mitty High School. And if you follow high school or college athletics, good chance that you've heard of Mitty. Uncontrolled just north of the 18. Rudy Castro getting it back. Sliding challenge from Osei. Spartans able to recover and get it to Mariani. Here's Allen. For Brenes. Controlling it well against the Bronco defenders. Finley Wood, they'll switch the point of attack here. And still patient through the midfield for San Jose State. Now brought over near side. Once again, it's Mariani. Continuing to connect well here. Got to be about 17, 18 passes in a row now for San Jose State. And they'll go ahead and reset it and bring it over to Breens. Mariani. Broncos stepping forward with Agassi. They're able to win it back. Camacho Soto Turning around, fighting for Santa Clara. Able to get his balance back, get back onto his feet, and win it back. And Broncos will get it back, and Christensen will settle it down. Back to Badanez Mecho. Got another look at that San Jose State goal a moment ago. I think that Emil Christensen might have just tapped it for Santa Clara. It was on its way back to the box. It was a ball played in by San Jose State, so had it gotten through to the Santa Clara keeper, Badanez Mecho, he would have been able to play it however he chose to. But I think that it was just a little bump off of Christensen. Can't say for sure based on the angle I saw in the video that was available, but that might have been the case on the Spartan goal tonight. And that time, tripping up is Breens. Camacho Soto to the right. And there is number 5 for the Broncos. Dylan Karuba adding to the big Santa Clara scoreline. The senior gets one here in the 69th minute. Ethan Breens lost his footing. Camacho Soto put in a really good spot, winning that one back. Played it across. And Karuba has his first goal in 21 matches as a Bronco. Manthe Ruiz, Agasti, Camacho Soto, and Karuba for Santa Clara. 5 goals on the night. One of the biggest score lines his team has seen in a long time. Looks like both teams trying to make some substitutions in the meantime. The referees and the referees' assistants deliberating over something. And I think San Jose State made a substitution that now maybe wasn't properly communicated to the center table. It's the goal scorer, Buenfield, who's now coming off of the pitch. Right now only 9 outfield players for the Spartans back on as we get ready to see quite a few new players into this one.
Scoring Santa Clara's 5th goal of the night and his first of the season and his career number 27, Dylan Karuba.
Now Buenfield able to come on. Broncos will get Lopez Perez back into the match for San Jose State. Adam, Buenfield, and Redfield getting ready to come back in. Now Breens just losing his footing on that last one. Setting up the opportunity for Santa Clara. Camacho Soto had all kinds of guys to his right. Made the right play to get it over to Karuba. That's a selfless move right there. You win the ball in that area of the field, and I'm sure the first thing you're thinking is, you have a chance for a shot on goal, no question about it. But he's able to serve it up, and it gets Karuba his first career goal for the Broncos.
Number 27, Josh Redfield. They replace Polsgaard and Bermudez for the Broncos. Number 20, Eduardo Lopez Perez is into the match, replacing number 6, Sam Agasti.
Rennes is on the move here, working through a couple Broncos attackers as was facing his own goal. Now the Spartans get us restarted. As Jared Mariani working on here with Brenes. And we're going to have to get a look into the record book here and tell you the last time that Santa Clara had 5 goals in a match. That has been several years for this team. Christensen leaves it on back. Badanez Mecho, a little stride forward. He'll play it himself up into the midfield. Now a back pass to the keeper was a little bit outside the box, and he's just got to clean that one up and play it away. Well, and as a keeper, Ladanez Mecho is a guy who head coach Cam Rass calls a really good soccer player, but part of the challenge for Santa Clara is going to be to wrangle some of those kinds of things in. Now, in the 71st minute of a 5-1 lead, that play might not look like that big of a deal, but he had his stride going forward, got around one player, but then the question is, as a keeper, you still have to be able to get yourself back into position, and you can't really afford to play a pass that short that's turned over in that capacity. Jared Mariani pops it back for Allen. Working a two-man game on the far side. They'll get it here to Redfield. And he'll scoot it across to Andy Barajas. Spartans working it through on the far side, and they're able to win one here. Here's Allen. On for Brennis. Lopez Perez got a short kick to it. And foul given against San Jose State. Broncos will have the free kick here. Now let's a quick scan of the record books, and it looks like the last time Santa Clara had 5 goals in a match, you got to go all the way back to 2003, September 20th, in a 6-0 win over George Washington. So most goals in a match for the Broncos since 2003. Again, that's just on a quick scan, so that's unofficial. Certainly get you confirmation of that when we actually get word of it. Well, you're going on about 16 years ago for Santa Clara. And that 2003 season, a solid one for the Broncos, got all the way to the semifinals and ended up falling to Indiana 1-0 in overtime. Broncos and the Hoosiers sure have had their fair share of historical battles over the year, especially deep into the NCAA tournament. And those of you familiar with Santa Clara women's soccer, much in the same way that North Carolina is often a team that stands in the Broncos' way of a deep postseason run for the men, that North Carolina equivalent is Indiana. Here's Max Allen. On for Mariani. Boot forward from Emil Christensen, stepping through to get it away from trouble for Santa Clara. There's Barajas running forward. Rennes will scoot it on over, gets it to Redfield. Now for Mariani, Santa Clara will have a throw in here. I'm not a huge believer in sports of the transitive property, and it's early in the season, but I think you can't help but look at San Jose State playing a man down for most of the match against Pacific and took the Tigers, one of the WCC's best sides, into overtime. Ended up losing that match. But for Santa Clara to get this kind of result against San Jose State, I think is pretty promising, given how the Spartans were able to battle the Tigers out of the West Coast Conference. Henning Jolivet comes into the match for Santa Clara. The redshirt junior out of Humble, Texas, and Nimitz Senior will take over in goal. 6'4" goalkeeper for Cam Rass' side was in the mix as Santa Clara had a big goalkeeping carousel to start out last season, but one of the guys who has the most experience of returning keepers on this roster. Dakota Havlik moving on from graduation last year.
Also into the match are number 3.
So Jolivet is back in. Big dude at 6'4", 200. Definitely looks the part of your prototypical goalkeeper. Braves from well outside the box. A left-footed effort from Allen will get out here for a Santa Clara goal kick. Jolivet plays it on forward for the Broncos, the team enjoying a long stretch of home matches at the early part of the season. Mentioned that coming up on Sunday, the Broncos will be taking on the Grand Canyon Antelopes. That's Sunday night at 7:30, and then going forward to September 14th in San Diego State. Santa Clara wins it back, flick back to a Cromwell's, but it's dealt with by the Spartans. San Jose State pushing numbers forward here. Pass slip through, Christensen stepping in. Broncos looking to get it onto the front line for Julian Bravo. And for Santa Clara, I think another thing you've got to be pleased with is how you responded to conceding that goal on a mistake in the back. Here's a nice looking cross. That one got all the way through for Julian Boyce, who took a little bit of a spin that time as he tried to connect with it. That ball was served up very well, and Boyce got close. They're trying to put that one home. Boyce lets another one through here. And Broncos stepping through and able to defend with Terrell Smith. He holds off a defender and gets it well away from the Santa Clara goal. Now get it back here. And they'll have it with Allen. Christensen will watch this one on back. And all the way through to Santa Clara's heading Jolivet. And then the Broncos will have a 5-match road trip after taking on San Diego State. Here on the 14th, Utah Valley, that matchup will be in Las Vegas. The Broncos will stick around for a road match at UNLV, then take on Lipscomb, Evansville, and Cal State Northridge, all on the road leading up to West Coast Conference play. Smith on for a Cromwell's. Great control from a Cromwell's. And here's Bishop Washington, plays one into the box, cut out by San Jose State, but the Broncos hustle and win it back. Out for Washington again, but he can't quite control it. And Mariani. Rudy Castro. Spartans moving forward here. We talked about some of the compliments, some of the praise that Simon Tobin had for Castro. This is a guy to keep an eye on as it goes on in the season into the WAC. Now, Spartans normally compete in the Mountain West, but there is no Mountain West Conference for men's soccer. Cromwell's with the run forward, surviving through a little bit of contact there. He's knocked down, and the Broncos will have a free kick from just outside the 18-yard box. The WAC features teams. It's a very continental conference. Incarnate Word down in Texas. UT Rio Grande Valley also in the Lone Star State. Then you got Utah Valley in Utah. Air Force out of Colorado. Grand Canyon from Arizona. Houston Baptist, Seattle, Cal State, Bakersfield, Kansas City, San Jose State, and UNLV. And Broncos will go direct, and it's right at Rodrigo Reyes Zavalza on the effort by Bishop Washington. Santa Clara hustling, wins it back. crosses on. Washington left to chase, and it gets out for a San Jose State goal kick. Couple more substitutions as Matt Goldbranson is into the match for the Broncos, along with Nate Shue, and for San Jose State, Isaiah De Dios and Jorge Lopez checking in. This is a Spartan team that has made the WAC championship match. And the WAC has a postseason tournament, whereas the WCC does not. It's just the regular season champion out of the West Coast Conference that earns the automatic berth into the NCAA tournament. Offside flag up here. Free kick for San Jose State. WAC figures to be competitive again this season, but it's not just decided by the regular season. You get the tournament format, and talked with Simon Tobin about that. He said he really likes it. And I kind of framed the question as getting experience in a win or go home situation. And he said, yeah, I mean, I think you basically got the idea here. I think any team to be successful needs to have guys who have gone through those tournament types of situations. And it's a Spartan team that has really done well to heat up at the end of the season over the last couple of years. Picked to finish 6th. They did get one of the first place votes in the conference. Seattle picked to win it, followed by UT Rio Grande Valley and Air Force this year. And the West Coast Conference is going to be a fun one to watch this year as well. St. Mary's picked to win the conference championship. How about the job that Adam Cooper has done up there? The Gales quickly rising into high-level national prominence, as have the Pacific Tigers, with Ryan Jordan moving on, head coach of the Tigers. St. Mary's picked to win it. Portland 2nd, San Diego 3, Pacific 4, and then USF Santa Clara 6 out of 8. Followed by Gonzaga and LMU. And wouldn't you know it, as this one is knocked out for a San Jose State corner. Broncos start off with St. Mary's in the West Coast Conference opener here on October 12th. And then it will be Pacific coming to town a week later on Saturday the 19th. That is going to be a fun couple of days of soccer as we get West Coast Conference play started off this season. Ball hooking into the far side on the corner, headed goalward, and Jolivet's got it. Went right at the torso of the Bronco keeper. Nice ball. Served in off the corner. It was Adam who got a chance to it. This one taken short, and nobody was closer than maybe a yard or two from the 6-yard spot to where that corner was being taken. So the Broncos able to clear it away. 84th minute of action, as the Broncos have put up their biggest scoreline since 2003. 5 goals here tonight. Here's Redfield. Stiff boot forward from Redfield. Brought down just outside the 18. Controlling it here is Isaiah De Dios, out of San Jose and the Kings Academy. Crossing one in. Goldbranson there to deal with it. Now Tennyson Stevens sends one all the way forward, and that will stay in play. Left for San Jose State. It's a chase down here. A lot of times in these local rivalries, in these derby type of matches, you usually see something tight. No matter what the case is, what kind of season the two teams are having. But that just has not been the case tonight. Jolivet back in the Bronco net here. Back in the recent history of this series, back in 2012, San Jose State hung 5 on the Broncos in a 5-3 win in that match. Here's a Kromowitz across the face of goal and just cut out. Spartans recovering and able to get a piece to it. Broncos taking advantage of a lot of space in the box. Barajas. About 4 minutes to go here in match number 3 of the 2019 season. Broncos are going to be on their way to 2-1 on the year. Spartans will fall to 0-3 when this one's all wrapped up. Redfield's got it. Ariani. Into the midfield with Jorge Lopez. Working alongside Julian Boyce. Barajas for Santa Clara, all the way back for Liam Anderson. Anderson remaining in the match here as the Broncos, well, really both of these teams getting a lot of reserves, some action. Camacho Soto back in for Santa Clara, as is Danny Sanchez for San Jose State.
Jonathan Camacho Soto returns to the match for Julian Bravo.
So, of course, these two local rivals and going at it for a long time. And yeah, and you look at a lot of these matches. A lot of them over the years decided by a goal or less. I believe this is Santa Clara's biggest scoreline in a match against San Jose State as well. Yeah, just got confirmation of that 2003 stat we gave you earlier. Most goals in a Bronco match in 16 years in that 6-0 win over George Washington here at an event hosted by Santa Clara. So a big night for the Broncos early on in a rivalry match. This will be something that'll spark a lot of early season momentum for this team. Well, it's been an intriguing start to the season, but I think you can see the effect of some of that home cooking. This is a Bronco team that has been used to going on the road early on in seasons in the last couple of years, but have been slowly working to get more home matches on the docket. They did have 4 of the first 5 at home 2 years ago. But as you scan through some of these schedules, just a very road-heavy lineup out of the gates. And you like to be able to bring teams to your place if you can, especially here out west where the weather's quite typically always good. Now take Santa Clara, for example. Last season, Broncos had 2 at home to start the year, then went on the road for 7 of the next 8. Washington was set up to take the throw. He'll leave it back for Terrell Smith. A little more than a minute to go here. In this crosstown rivalry, 5 Bronco goals here tonight by 5 different goal scorers. Manthe, Ruiz, Agasti, Camacho Soto, and Karuba. And the efficiency is what stands out. 5 goals on 12 shots, 5 goals on 7 shots on frame. Able to take advantage of a couple of defensive miscues by San Jose State, and also some good combination play to set up a few of the goals. So we've seen a little bit of everything here tonight. Talking about the Broncos offensively in this one. Terrell Smith able to get to that one, streaking in front of Danny Sanchez. His speed was on display for the first Bronco goal of the night, and it has been quite the difference maker in this match. Really good night for Terrell Smith. Really good night for the Broncos overall, as Santa Clara comes up with a 5-1 win in this rivalry matchup against San Jose State. Preston Manthe in the 26th, Javier Ruiz in the 31st, Sam Agasti in the 46th, Alan Camacho Soto in the 65th, and Dylan Karuba in the 69th for the Broncos in this match. Spartans got a goal just short of the hour mark in the 60th, and that turned the momentum, I think, closer to San Jose State's camp for a moment, as Buenfield was able to capitalize on a Bronco defensive mistake. Long pass play just to the edge of the box that was bumped on for an easy chance for Buenfield as Boninez Mecha was left scrambling in the Santa Clara net. That's some good combination play for the first Santa Clara goal. Manthe playing Smith through on the left side. Or rather, it was Lopez Perez who played Smith through on the left side. And he slided it through to Manthe, who took the touch nicely for Santa Clara. So a really good game in Manthe here, his debut season after he was a redshirt freshman a season ago. And for Manthe, who made his debut for Santa Clara in the last match, he didn't have a shot in that one. So Manthe slotting one away for the Broncos. Then Javier Ruiz combining with Manthe, who picked up the assist on the second goal in the 31st. Broncos picking it off from the back part of the San Jose State midfield, charging forward in a free one on goal, and just kind of scooped it on forward with the left. And then 44 seconds into the second half, Agasti from Bravo and Manthe, beautiful left-footed finish, far post from the left side from Sam Agasti. In the 65th, Alan Camacho Soto on a ball crossed in. Keeper was off his line, and he just dropped the header in between two defenders for number 4. And then Dylan Karuba from Camacho Soto, after one of the San Jose State defenders had fallen down on the ball, setting up a pretty clear-cut chance that the Broncos did not waste in this one. So for Santa Clara tonight, a goal and 2 assists for Preston Manthe. Alan Camacho Soto also with a goal and an assist in this one, as all kinds of Broncos got on the scoreline. 12 shots, 7 on target for Santa Clara, who is 2-1-0 on the year. 8 shots, 4 on target for San Jose State, who falls to 0-3 on the season. 3 saves for Santa Clara overall. 2 by Guillem Boninez Mecho and 1 for Henning Jolivet. And Rodrigo Reyes Zavalza called on to make 2 saves for San Jose State. 13 fouls for Santa Clara to 5 for the Spartans. 4 Bronco corners to 3 for their crosstown rivals. Broncos whistled offside 3 times in this match. San Jose State whistled offside once. Here's a look at the upcoming Broncos schedule. Next 2 matches at home, both here on the WCC Network. Grand Canyon coming up on September 8th. And that is actually a night match, so the dates are correct there. Times are off. But Grand Canyon coming up September 8th, Sunday, as part of a doubleheader day. The women taking on Utah Valley in the afternoon. The men taking on Grand Canyon at 7:30. So 2 more at home before Broncos hit the road for their first road trip of this 2019 campaign. Well, a couple of thank yous before we head out. Colin Baker running the camera for us tonight. Connor Pelton with San Jose State Sports Information. The head coach of the Spartans, Simon Tobin. For Santa Clara, the SID, Dino Barra. Head coach Cam Raston. Broncos senior Sam Agasti taking some time to sit down and get us ready for this one. The Broncos with their biggest scoreline since 2003, 5-1 over San Jose State. Tonight's game has been an exclusive presentation of the WCC Network on Stadium. For more live West Coast Conference broadcasts, features, and information, go to watchstadium.com and the official website of the West Coast Conference, WCCSports.com. For all of us here at Santa Clara, I'm David Gentili saying thanks for tuning in, and we will chat with you again on Sunday night. For now, it's good evening. Enjoy your weekend from the Mission Campus.